Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So I got some primer on the chassis. Went through 9 cans so far. It's a big chassis. About ready to slide it underneath the wagon to get a visual on what needs to be trimmed and where. So before I even get started, straight away I could see a couple of minor hiccups. Not the end of the world. First of all, we got those 2 brackets that are hanging down. It looks like the old hoop for the old drive shaft, so that'll have to come out. That's number 1. Number 2, this whole back section right here is going to have to possibly come out, or I'm gonna have to readjust my tube that I've got there. And it's hard when you're by yourself trying to do these things, but not a big deal. Small adjustments that could come off. I could move it, scooch it back a little. It's not the end of the world, so I'm not worried about it. I already knew that this portion of the rear seat would need to be trimmed out. The frame rails fit inside of this box tubing, which is good. That's a plus. These inner fenders are going to need to get trimmed like this because of the shock tower, which is no big deal. I'll match it, figure something out how to make it nice and clean, how it all flows together. I can see the center that I'm going to have some issues with, and the floor pan, which again is not a big deal. It's very minimal, but it's going to take some work to get this to lay on here. But now that I see what I'm working with, it's going to be a one piece at a time sort of thing. Cut a section of the body out, lower the car down, see what needs to be trimmed, cut a section of the body out, lower the car down some more. And I can see also there's going to be an issue with the back frame, which really isn't that big of a deal because I could trim the channel down. I can shrink the back portion of the hoop. And on the factory chassis, it was much smaller anyway. So what is this, 3 inches at most? Not a big deal. So yeah, we got our work cut out for us. Absolutely. Will it be worth it? 100%. Do I have hours of work in here? Absolutely. And the last thing I need to be doing is taking my hands, touching everywhere on the chassis, creating rust spots, because that's what's going to happen. So no biggie. One day at a time, man. Whenever you're installing floors, obviously it's a whole lot nicer and easier when you pull the body off the chassis. They didn't have the luxury of that. They did the best they could. So I'm cutting out some of the old floor that was left behind. I'll end up seam sealing all this for them. This brace, I'm going to push up in here, bend it a little bit, weld it to it for them, clean up all the little rough edges. I'm going to look into seeing about replacing this body support for them. Obviously, it's pretty beat up, seen better days. This one's not bad, but you can see all the metal in it, and it's not their fault. But trying to do this kind of stuff with the body on the car is never an easy task. So I've got to trim out, you see that line right here? I've got to cut this out anyway from there to the right of the camera, so which will be fine. And I'll clean up all this for him, put some seam sealer on it, some rust encapsulator, but pretty much This one has to get trimmed. That one has to get trimmed. That whole portion has to come out, I think. I don't know. I'm going to do it a little section at a time. Slide the cart back under, lower the chassis down, roll it out, mark it, so on and so on. So here we go. Body brace was shot. Gonna have to fix up that inner rocker for him too. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but there's certain things I have to do and certain things I'm not going to do. Let me know in the comment section what you guys would do in my situation. Would you leave it? Would you fix it? You know, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. There we go. We're getting there. Gonna have to channel the floor, obviously, for the dry shaft to come through. Body mounts are getting cut. I got to do some welding on the floors. Obviously, you all know I got to fix that brace, but it's getting there. A lot of work, man. What the fuck did I get myself into? Now's the time to say it. Yep, and that's what we got so far out from the car. We're still gonna have more. This was aired out before, right? See, this is the yoke from the dry shaft. It was hitting this, bam, 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 every time they would move it. This is gonna be up here, which would mean the tunnel would probably be about this high. Something along the lines of that. Another 4 inches high. So I've got an idea for this, but we'll see. We'll see. It's sad, you know, that they went and they had all this work done in here, but I'm gonna have to cut through it, and I'm gonna have to clean the floor and grind it, and I'll try and keep it to a minimum. But Shield Liners said they would touch up whatever they had to. So yeah, it is what it is. Well, we're here in Tennessee. I gotta show you this. This is insane. Doing storm work, storm restoration on a mountain. It's pretty neat. Yeah. So the wire's laying on the ground. It's de-energized. We've got grounds hung up for our protection, so it cannot become energized. And waiting on confirmation that this wire down yonder isn't broke in the middle, so I can pull it up to the guy up on the pole right up there. So that's awesome. I'm trying to do this little at a time to see. So it's getting there. And then, oh, the brace. This brace has to get cut. So once I get the car to sit where it needs to sit, then we'll pull the chassis out, get the chassis all together, roll the chassis underneath, sit the body on it, and then I'll see where I'm gonna attach my body mounts to. All right, so we're getting closer. Unfortunately, I had to cut out a good chunk of the back panel here, which is gonna get rebuilt anyway. But fixing to set the body back down, and I'll show you why in just a second. I had to readjust the stands on my cart. It'll make sense in 2 seconds. So where we're at, my jack, my lift is on a safety stop, meaning the cylinders won't bleed down any lower than this at all, because the fingers are locked inside of the lift. So now I can get a better idea of where exactly and how much exactly I need to trim out. So roughly right now we're about, I don't know, 2 inches, maybe 2 inches away. Frame has to come up higher into the body, and same up front. I got to do some measuring. It looks about 3 inches up front. We'll say 3. We'll just call it 3. 3 up front and 3 in the rear. I'm gonna do some marking with marker, some spots that I need to, to open up. I don't know if you remember in one of my videos I was saying about purposely having this bend right in this location, and now you can see why, because all I have to do is put a little tab for the body bolt, a little leg, and we can secure the body to the chassis utilizing this body mount. So now you could see why I had to trim the floorboard where I trimmed it, because of the frame rails wanting to come through and the airbag mount wanting to come through. That's the bar that I was talking about earlier. So this is an easy fix, blending metal into this, building a brace going across the top to have a back seat, so to speak, here. And it should be about 3 inches more. That hump, the notch, will have to come up into the floor. You can get a better view, a bird's eye view from inside here. It's starting to all make sense. I may still have to trim the back side of the chassis, we'll see, but it's not that big of a deal. Our shock's clear. So currently with the trimming, now you can see how it's all starting to make sense. The floor will have to get notched right there, which isn't a big deal, for the frame rail to come through. On the outside of the frame rail, we'll have to channel it for the chassis again to come through. So no big deal, one piece at a time. We're almost there. You can see again, side of the frame, we want to have the rocker lane on the ground, how much more we need to go, and it's basically this distance. Once this chassis is up in here trimming some stuff in the back, we should be basically there. So all right, so currently body is pushed forward about an inch or so. I'm going to run to Home Depot tonight, get some all thread, run all thread through the body mount here, through the hole, so I can center it, the body onto the chassis. I'm going to need to Z the front of this right here, because this is already hitting, which is no big deal. Just do a cut, step it down a little bit. But you could see this distance, which is like 2 inches, to where we're about 2 inches now, front and rear, from the car laying rocker. So we're getting there. This body mount's going to have to come off, both of them, and get lowered, because even though this is 2 inches right here, once you stuff the body mount inside of here, you're going to lose an inch plus. So that's why this mount and the other mount will have to come off, which again, it's not a big deal. I knew that getting into this. So these are just things that I'm mentally preparing myself for. Yeah, so we're almost there. Almost there. I know almost doesn't count, but we're almost there. It's ridiculously hot out today. My shirt is drenched. I'm drenched. It's real feel, I want to say, of like 110. That's what they were saying today. We're 105 degrees in the garage right now. I'm kind of handling it like a boss because I'm used to it, but it's too much. I got to go inside. So till tomorrow. Holy shit, man. Again, another hot day. You don't want to hear it. Just saying, sweating, I'm out of breath. There it is. Holy shit. I'm about a ½ inch, maybe a little more from the back, from laying, and the front is basically there. Remember what I was saying about the body mount? See how much room there is here now? That's why we're gonna cut this. We're gonna move it down. Then our clearance is good through the floor. I had to take a section of the floor out, 2 sections, drivers and passenger, but not a big deal. Easy fix, very easy fix. And obviously rebuild the back, easy fix. But that was the hardest part of this car, was this whole rear section right here. So unbelievable. I believe it, but I can't believe it. You know what I mean? You probably wouldn't know if I didn't say nothing, but I ended up cutting a little over 1 inch out of the back side of the chassis. I probably could have got away without saying it, but now you know. So everything is basically good on the car. We're gonna slide it under, and hopefully this will be it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for this video. My apologies if it's not what you expected, where it needed to be on the ground with the, you know, chassis completely assembled. Stuff don't happen that quick. It is what it is, but did the best I can with the amount of time I had. So have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. That's about it, man. Take care.